Hey everyone, in the previous video I taught you the introduction of modules, and I showed you how to import a module like so and access the data in that module. And I showed you that we could get the type of any module we import, so we could say print and say type of random, and when you do this it says module. So this random is an object of type module, and all of the members of this module are accessible by saying random dot and then selecting whatever you want. But you don't always want to do this because you always have to prefix with random. It's a little bit extra typing. What if we just want a very few things from this random module? We don't need everything. Well, that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. And as an example, we're going to work with random.randint, which is a function, method, whatever you want to call it. So to do this, what we can do is we can actually say from random import randint, like so. And then we can just get rid of this previous line we had, import random. So now we don't get access to everything for random, but we no longer have to prefix with random either. So I can say print and I can use randint directly. So we'll get a random number between 0 and 10 inclusive, and it looks like we got 0, 5. You can see that it's working. Whereas prior we would have had to have said random.randint, now we can use randint directly. But there's one gotcha here, we can no longer access the other members of random. So if I go in here and say print type of random, check this out. Running it now, random is not defined. We only have this one method, randint, which you can see is a method. So in other words, coming from random.py, we no longer can access all of this stuff. We can only access the individual ones we import directly. In this case, it was only randint, which is somewhere in this list, right here. But if you wanted to access any of these other ones, you would have to import those ones as well. So for example, if we wanted to get seed, let's just say we want to get seed real quick, you would just say from random import randint, comma seed. And now we can use that in our code wherever it would be appropriate. So I could pass seed into this type here and run that, and you can see it works. If we didn't import seed here, let's say we got rid of that for a sec, running this, we're going to get an error. Seed is not defined. So let's just talk about the pros and the cons. The pros here is that we do not have to prefix these members with random. We don't have to say random.randint or random.seed. We just say randint or seed. So they're available directly. The consequence, or the con here, is that because it's available directly, it's going to override any variables that we have of that name. So let's just say we were making some application, and this is totally theoretical, right? We were creating some farming application, and we were working with some variable called seed. And we just said, hey, this is an apple seed. Like whatever, just to store some information, we used a variable called seed. And then after this, we said from random import seed. Well, what I want to do is I want to print seed and see what we get. Running this, and look at this. It says method random.seed. It doesn't say apple. So we just replaced the value of seed with some method. Gross, we don't want to replace our data. That is bad. When we don't say from random import and just say import random, we don't have to worry about that because it's only going to create the variable name random, and all the stuff is accessible through that. So that would only be an issue if we had another variable called random. So that is an introduction to this syntax here, from module import member, and in this case we're using random and randint. But you'll see this a lot, so stay tuned because we're going to consider different ways of importing and also aliasing, how to fix different problems. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe.